What if I told you one of those tiny copper coins might be worth over $884,000 today? Yes, a 1984 Lincoln penny. No mint mark. Just 1 cent, yet some of these coins have turned ordinary Americans into millionaires. Literally overnight. You might be holding on to one right now. It could be in that old jar on the top shelf. Or worse, you might have already spent it, unknowingly trading it for a cup of coffee. A penny that could have paid off your mortgage. Terrifying, isn't it? And yet, exciting. But how can something as ordinary as a 1984 penny skyrocket to nearly $1 million in value? Why does it have no mint mark? And how do you tell if yours is the rare one? Well, that's exactly what we're diving into today. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you won't just be looking at your pennies the same way again. You'll be checking every coin you've ever touched, with new eyes, and maybe a millionaire's mindset. And hey, if you're thinking, come on, a penny making me rich? Well, the universe has a funny way of rewarding those who listen a little longer than others. So let's begin. Let's rewind to 1984. Ronald Reagan was president. Apple had just released the Macintosh, and the average American was earning around $21,000 a year. Amid all this, the U.S. Mint quietly produced billions of Lincoln cents. But tucked within those billions were a few extraordinary mistakes. Some of the 1984 Lincoln pennies were struck without a mint mark, meaning they don't bear the tiny D or S you'd usually find below the date at first glance. They look just like every other penny. But here's where it gets wild. These no-mint mark 1984 Lincoln cents have become holy grails among collectors, especially those that contain die-doubling errors on Lincoln's ear or the word liberty. One such error coin was auctioned for $884,000. Yes, nearly $1 million for a single penny. Why? Because it had what experts call a dramatic double die, a rare and visually striking error caused during the minting process. The details on Lincoln's bust appeared doubled. The coin was well preserved. And above all, it was unique. Rarity plus demand equals value. Simple as that. If Abraham Lincoln knew his face on a 1-cent coin could be worth almost $1 million, he probably would have asked for royalties. But let's stay focused. You might be wondering, how do I check if I have that penny? First, look closely at the date. 1984. No mint mark under the year? That's your first clue. Next, grab a magnifying glass. Look at Lincoln's ear. Do you see what appears to be a shadow or duplicate line? That could be die doubling. If you see any doubling in the word liberty or the motto "In God We Trust," that's another red flag. Well, green flag in this case. Do not clean the coin. Collectors want original condition, even if it's a little dirty. Cleaning it could destroy its value. What if I told you that millions of these pennies are still circulating today, unnoticed? More on that in just a moment. But before we get there, right now, as you're watching this, rare 1984 pennies are being found in pocket change, in drawers, in basements. Some are sitting in coin jars people haven't touched in decades. And here's the twist. Most of them don't even know what they have. That's where opportunity lies. Because now you know. You know what to look for. You know the value. You know the signs of a treasure hiding in plain sight. And that knowledge? That's what separates the average from the wealthy. If you're serious about living a richer, freer life, then it's time to check those coins. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Today. And if you don't, someone else will. Maybe a neighbor. Maybe a friend. And maybe they'll be the one telling the story of how a dirty penny turned into a luxury retirement home in Florida. Now imagine that story being yours. Start checking your coins. Look for that 1984 penny with no mint mark. Look for doubling on the details. And if you find it, get it appraised by a professional. You could be sitting on a 6-figure payday. And if you want more tips on rare coins worth serious money, subscribe to this channel right now. Because the next video could be the one that puts you on the path to generational wealth. Who knew your future might be hiding inside an old coin jar? Thanks for watching, and don't forget to check your change. Your next million might just be copper-coated and 1 cent away.